If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me and subscribe to me on all my other social media platforms. What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another album review for you guys. And today I am talking about the latest studio offering from Swedish thrash metal band Mezzrow with Summon Thy Demons. So this came out on April 21st as well, and I got curious to check this one out because apparently this band formed in 1987 and was around until about the mid-90s, had one album out in 1990, and then when I looked up their info and saw they had a new album coming out, I got curious because I had not heard of this band, and this is their first album in 33 years. And when looking at their Metal Archives page and seeing who were they compared to, and immediately, as soon as I saw the bands they were compared to, I was like, I'm checking it out immediately. So, without further ado, let's talk about the album itself. So, this album, best way I could describe this album is it's everything I love about thrash metal. It's got some great hooks, some amazing melodic guitars, little hints of technicality here and there, but very old school sounding as well. Like, pretty much as far as like what style and sound of thrash I really get on here, I get mostly Bay Area thrash sounds, like classic Metallica and Testament especially, but I also get little nods of bands like SPECTRIX, maybe even a little Megadeth. I know on one track there's some Exodus vibes, and then towards the end it gets a little bit German thrash, most particularly Sodom. But we kick things off with King of the Infinite Void, and right away you get this like thrashy triplet chug, and then it gets into classic thrash. Feels more like a combo of Megadeth and Testament in terms of the songwriting chops and the riffage. And I love the technical parts that you get on this whole entire album whenever the guitars get a little more adventurous at times. And I love the dynamic shifts that you get on pretty much this whole album across the board, and also across the board the guitar work, like not just in the riffs, like there's some awesome catchy thrash riffs, but in the leads, great balance of melody and just showing off like technical shredding prowess, like, hey, look at me, I'm just going crazy, but making it make sense and with some nice tasteful melody all throughout. But yeah, King of the Infinite Void was, I thought, a great way to begin the album. Then we get into Through the Eyes of the Ancient Gods, where it begins kind of similar to, say, a band like SPECTRIX a little bit. And then it even gets a little bit kind of punky in the pre-chorus, which was something pretty cool, because after all, whenever you do punky stuff in thrash, it makes perfect sense. And even the chorus on this track, and you get it here and there on a few songs of this album, little bits of atonal and dissonant guitars, and that's really felt on the chorus of this track, and it helps kind of give the song a little more of a sinister, darker sound to it. The title track, which was the longest track of the album at about 6 minutes, begins with like these haunting chants but with like a somber atmosphere, and then riffs are unleashed into your ears. And this song is perhaps the most groove-oriented. Like, it's maybe the slowest song. Well, mainly in the first half, it's all about catchy grooves, great riffage, kind of made me think of Metallica here. But the little bass licks that you get on this track were tastefully done, and I love the sudden mood shifts that you get on this track, where it feels a little more dramatic with the melodies that you get in the background. But then in the second half, it gets a little bit more thrashy, especially in the lead section, and even like a little cool, clean guitar break you get on this song before it ends on a more somber note. What is Dead May Never Die, right away with some like sweeping shred, and then you get into, this is the one song where it feels the most like Exodus to me with the guitars, and the way it's all put together. But the chorus on this track in particular kind of has a little bit of almost a power metal vibe. Like, it's got a little more epic quality to it, especially with the progressions. And then the bridge really gets down and dirty on this track, as it made me think of Creator a little bit. But yeah, this was probably the most melodic and epic song of the album, which is kind of weird to say about a thrash band, but it works. Then we get into De Mysterious Immortoi, there we go. And this song, this sounds like, this track right here in particular, I have to say it, this song feels like a deep cut from Master of Puppets. Like, the downstrokes on the guitars, the riffs going on themselves, just made me think immediately of Master of Puppets era Metallica, which is an amazing thing, trust me. And I love the cool use of groove in the choruses. Like, it's a groovy chorus with thrashy verses, which is pretty cool changeover from a couple of tracks where you get slightly more groovy verses and a thrashy chorus. But I love also, like, the little sinister progressions you get in the background on this track, too. Then you get into Beneath the Sea of Silence. Little more technical on this track, feeling more like Testament to me. And a groovy chorus, once again, little chugging guitars, little atonal melodies, even a quick blast beat I heard on this track. On Earth as in Hell, you get these like bombs going off, chuggy riffs. This track also kind of feels like a deep cut from like And Justice for All a little bit. And then even a really cool bass line that's highlighted on here too. Blackness Fell Upon the World starts with beautiful acoustic guitars to kind of give off more of that somber atmosphere. Then it gets heavy with like marching rhythms and riffs. This song feels like modern Megadeth to me, but also has some like Lamb of God feels and like the drum flares you get on here, and even in the breakdown. And I will say the breakdowns you get on this album are fucking great. Like, just all straight to the point, breaking down a riff, great grooves. What more could I describe these breakdowns with? Even a harmonized lead on this track pops up, which was really sweet. Dark Spirit Rising, wild guitars and drums, bringing back the Testament vibes, and then the verse riffs, again, feel like Metallica. Cool mood shift in the bridge, like it's almost like we're getting ready to throw fists and beat somebody up. Even some Iron Maiden influences kind of come in on the melodies. And then we get into The End of Everything, the final track. Eerie melodies, again bringing back the Megadeth vibe, but then it gets extra fast. Like, this feels closer to German thrash. This is the one song that feels closer to German thrash, like most particularly Sodom. And it was a fast, aggressive track to bring this album to a close. And like I said, the breakdowns, like, just laced all throughout, particularly in King of the Infinite Void, Through the Eyes of the Ancient Gods. Let's see, De Mysterious Immortoi. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, I apologize. On Earth as in Hell, Blackness Fell Upon the World. Like, pretty much those songs have some standout breakdowns that were badass. The production on this album was quite good, with a solid mix. And like I said, awesome riffage all throughout with occasional atonal and dissonance. Lead work, absolutely spectacular on here. Great use of dynamics, awesome drums. The vocals were particularly strong on here. The bass, whenever it has its moments of shine, it does shine. Now, the one minor gripe that I have about this album is I do wish the bass could have been turned up just a notch in the mix. It's audible, but I wish it was turned up a little bit more to have more moments within the album. But overall, man, this weekend just packed us filled with awesome albums. Like Birdflesh yesterday was a damn near perfect album. This is no different. 9.5 out of 10. This is a contender for one of the best thrash albums of the year. Like, holy shit. This album, like I said, it encompasses everything I love about thrash metal and why thrash will always remain my favorite style of not just metal, but music. Great melodies, awesome harmonies when they pop up, some technical moments, but feels old school. And what more can I say? 9.5 out of 10. But again, that's just my opinion. For those of you who did listen to this album, what did you guys think of Summoned by Demons by Mezzrow? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.